Chirp about it.
Yeah.
I wanna know what's on your mind, yeah. I'll chirp about it every Tuesday at 8 p.m. We're gonna tune in and chirp about it.
Oh, and chirp about it is. Good afternoon, good evening, New York City. Greetings to the world. Yep, you're tuned in to Chirp About It Live. I am your host, Pat Sainville, along with Mr. Ian Bamberger.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, that great intro you heard was just by Mr. Ian Bamberger, the talented one. Yeah, baby. And Ian is right. We do have a spectacular show for you tonight. Let me tell you, we have a special guest in the house, an actor, a filmmaker. He does it all. He's standing eight. I got to tell you, we're going to hear a lot from this man. His name is Kazy Tauginas. Did I pronounce that correctly? Tauginas. There we go. I keep practicing. I'm sorry about Mr. Tauginas. So we have Kazy in the house. We're going to hear a lot from Mr. Tauginas in just a little bit, so sit tight for that. Also, folks, if you'd like to call in with your New York moments, thoughts, or opinion, or maybe you may have a question or two for Mr. Tauginas, please call 646-690-2976. 646-690-2976. Please call in to chirp about it or ask Mr. Tauginas a question. Kazy, that is. Of course, and we also have Jade who keeps things together, our engineer. Jade, thank you very much. We love you. Again, I'd like to pay my respects before I really go on with the show. On a sad note, of course, for those of you who do not know this, but Mr. John Lombardi passed away. He's one of our broadcasters here on City World Radio. In fact, his shows was 2 hours before mine, which is Tuesdays 8 p.m. So I'm really saddened by the loss of Mr. Lombardi. So John, again, rest in peace. My respects to you, my friend. And last week I dedicated the entire hour to Mr. John Lombardi. Such a sweet soul, sweet man. All right, so life is precious, folks. I keep saying it. Take a breather sometimes. Reflect on everything. Your loved ones and, your careers and everything else. Take a breather. Take a step back in order to move forward. That's my chirp for tonight.
I like that.
All right. Yep. With that, let's just go right into our local topics, Ian, and then we'll get to our round of chirps, which we're going to hear Kazy chirping about things today, about New York City. And then we'll take a break, and then we'll come back and speak with Mr. Interesting guest, Kazy. You got to pronounce. You got to help me. Tauginas. I got to practice
Very
on
cool.
this. I love it. All right. Well, officially, New York City Mayor De Blasio has announced his run for president 2020. So that should be really interesting. A lot of people are not big fan in this city. Are not big fans of our mayor, Mayor De Blasio. They don't believe he's doing a wonderful job, a great job. That is, but. Nevertheless, he is our mayor for the second time.
Yeah.
So there's no re-election for him, no re-electing him for New York City mayor. But so I guess he's shooting for the White House. Kazy, what do you think? Do you have any opinion on Mr. De Blasio here?
Bless his heart.
Bless his heart.
Yeah, he should come onto the show and.
Well, yeah, I'm
discuss
trying
his
to
platform.
reach out to his people. I'd also like to get his wife Charlene McRae because again, we have my main thing, Kazy, is mental health. There's a big mental health issue in this city, in this world.
Sir.
So I know you have a cause as well, which we're going to talk about, which is lupus. My greatest cause right now is mental health. So we're going to chit-chat and go back and forth on that. So I'd like to get Charlene McRae on the show to discuss, this mental health issue, this crisis that we're dealing with, especially with Thrive New York, which is a program that she runs, and we need some questions answered. All right, with that, L Train, Ian.
Oh yeah.
We
Famous L
have
Train.
this partial shutdown this weekend, partially shut down, but it doesn't seem to be doing so bad so far.
I have no complaints. I've used it a few
Yeah,
times.
from what I've been reading, so far
Yeah.
so good. So that's knock on wood for that. I'm really happy about that because we all thought, especially at the beginning, I see Kazy smiling or smirking here, so he's got something to chirp about the L Train. But so far, so good. So, Kazy, let's hear you chirp about the L Train situation.
It just took me 2 hours to get home to the Upper West Side from Bushwick.
Oh,
week.
Oh, damn,
geez.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Is that where you live?
In the Upper West? Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
but
I
now-
went to an art show in Bushwick.
Ah.
So it was I mean, I always anticipate it being a while.
Yeah, but
2 hours, man.
2 hours.
Whoa,
I was walking out the
shit's
station,
crazy.
and a worker was like, "No, it's gonna leave for real. It's gonna leave." And I was like, "Really?" And I kind of started this max exodus off the train.
Yeah.
And all these people started leaving, and then he was like, "No, it's gonna go." And I was like in 5 minutes, or am I gonna have to
Yeah.
Uber?
Yeah.
Like, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So I stepped back on, and sure enough, the doors did close, but not after a bunch of people followed me off.
That's crazy.
Ooh.
That's crazy. But so far, so good. In fact, they're actually a third of the tunnel demolition has been completed already. And
That's
this
good
is
time.
containing hazardous dust. Yeah, so
That's
it
good
seems
time.
like so far so good. We'll see. I mean, they still have a few more months to go. I think about 13 more months, if I'm not mistaken.
But at this pace, they'd be done before then.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
So far so good. Sad note again. Nine taxi drivers within the last 18 months has committed suicide in New York City. 9.
It's terrible.
Okay, 9. And obviously, I'm sure we all could probably figure out why this is happening. These guys are going bankrupt. A lot of these medallion owners are they're losing money, because of the competition. Who are the competition? We all know. Uber is one, and Lyft is
man.
another, and there's a couple of others.
Like Juno or something.
So officials, the elected officials, they are blaming the competition. But my question is, should you really blame Ubers and Lyfts?
No, this is
for
a
the-
capitalist society.
Right. I mean,
You gotta.
that's like saying don't start your company. I mean, don't
Yeah.
start your new app. You know what I mean, Kazy? What's your take on that?
I have a few friends that are business owners in this city, and truth be told, taxi drivers, a lot of them, they're business owners, and
Correct.
this city does not make it easy to do business.
No. Well put.
I feel like how are business owners in this city incentivized to really push hard when every other time they turn around, something new is getting put on their shoulders.
Yeah.
So I feel like taxi drivers fall into that, and this city has some ways that are just, I feel like, policy and whatnot is just kind of antiquated, and it's not changing with the times and enabling people to become entrepreneurial minded
Yeah.
and fend for themselves. So I don't really know what the answers are. I'm just an actor, but I just
Just an actor.
I've just noticed some things since I've been here, and
Okay.
that I just kind of shake my head at.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Jade. Yes, of course.
I have a question because I was in a cab that was a regular yellow cab, and he also was an Uber driver.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yes.
Couldn't you just do both? Like, it's kind of like you can't beat him, join him. Like,
Mhm.
the yellow cab should have had an app before Uber.
Correct. Good.
Like,
That's a guy.
So well
that's a
put.
very good point. It's an extremely good point.
Blockbuster, right? They should have gone streaming before Netflix.
That's true
Yeah.
too.
They had the chance.
Same thing. They had the chance.
Well, that's my point. I mean, should these guys really, these companies really be the blame? Now, I understand it takes away from food from the table, but as Jade is saying, well, why don't, if you can't
Totally
beat the party, I guess join them
Yeah.
in somewhat way. But I think there's to that point, there's a lot more involved because these, again, business owners who have tens of thousands of dollars invested into these vehicles. So it's probably not that easy. I mean, they've probably taken out loans and they have to pay back. So it's probably a combination of a few things.
Yeah. That
Although
too.
you can probably do both and kind of pay off the loans. But what do I know? I'm just chirping about it. Hey, Frank in the house.
Hey.
I'll just chirp about one other ridiculous story that I read on my way here. And there's a cop. All right, this is a young lady cop. Her name is. She's a bad cop, so I'm going to call her out.
Ooh,
Her name
okay,
is
I wanna hear this.
Valerie Sinelli. All right? Valerie Sinelli was busted and charged by FBI because she enlisted her boyfriend to find a hitman to whack her ex-husband.
What the fuck?
Not only her ex-husband, and she also wanted her boyfriend's daughter to be whacked as well. Did you hear about that one?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Say her
what
name
it was-
again. Say what is her?
All right,
What is
her
this
name
person's
is Valerie Sinelli. All right, she's an officer. Well, now I think I think they fired her, if I'm not mistaken.
Fired.
I'm
She's
not-
gotta
I'm
go
not-
to jail,
I'm
man.
not sure. Oh, she's got to go to jail. My thing is, hold on. So, I mean, she's going through a bit of divorce. She has 2 kids with her ex-husband or her ex. So things are, not in good shape right now. I get that. It's
Valerie
probably hard
Sinelli.
times. Okay. But then you ask your husband, your boyfriend, to have his own daughter whacked. Now, how whack are you? I mean, to even
you're
go
a cop?
there. And she's a cop. But this guy, her boyfriend's name is John Deruba. He actually was an informant, so he had wires and so on. So they taped her and so on and so on. So they finally got her ass.
So the boyfriend turned on her.
Yeah, he turned on her.
Hey, sweet justice.
But how could you ask your own boyfriend to whack his own daughter? I don't understand. To get her out of the way. I talk about some crazy people in this freaking world.
How old was
Mental
the daughter?
health.
Mental health.
You think that's mental health with this shit?
She's crazy.
I mean, listen to that. Listen to the plan.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
That did she really thought that one out? She thought that out.
I think there's more that's an emotional thing. Mental health sometimes is when you're going cuckoo. I think with her, she's thinking with anger, her heart.
Sure.
She's vindictive. I think is that really mental health? But who knows? But
Thinking
you know
she
what?
can get away with
Shame
it.
on her. And you know what I would like to happen to her, and what should happen to her? She should be actually charged for 2 murders. That's what I think.
Attempted
should happen
murder.
to her. No. Murders.
Murder. Okay.
Because you know what? What if this hitman really whacked these 2 people?
That's straight up murder.
I mean, she did nothing to try to stop them. In fact, she got a text message saying yes. We went through and they showed a picture of the guy laying there and so on and so forth, and she was thrilled. Okay, so yeah, I think if I were the law, I'd say you know what, you're going to prison. You're being charged for 2 murders. Yeah, what do you say, Frank?
This thing on?
Yeah.
She'll wind up going to prison, but you can't get her for murder
Right.
because
Can't.
no one died.
Well, that's what
So
I'm
you
saying.
can get attempted. You can get a lot. You can get
Yeah.
attempted this, attempted that, conspiracy to this. You can stack up a lot of things.
Right.
But it is not murder.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
I say I would if I had
Okay,
my
if you were
way.
the judge.
Yeah.
If I were the judge, this is
Well, there's
that's
always
the way
the Judge Roy Bean way of doing it. You know?
What's Roy Bean?
Huh?
Roy Bean, enlighten me.
Judge Roy Bean was an old Western judge.
Yeah.
He was really just a bum who took over his dead town.
Yeah.
And he was the hanging judge.
Okay.
He tried you. He had you killed. If there was a gunfight, then he fined you. He fined your dead body for whatever else, and he took your money. Was what it was.
There you go. Roy Bean.
But anyway, so yeah, it's not murder.
No,
it's
I know it's not murder. I'm just saying if I had my
Pat, be
way,
a judge, man.
if I had my way, I'd say, you know what, you try to go get through with it, you're going down. That's for sure. That would be
But
my
the good
thing.
news is that yes, they fired her immediately. Get her gun and badge.
Yeah.
I mean, if she has a backup, that's another story. But get her gun and badge. Worry
Yeah.
about it that she wasn't proven to be guilty of anything later.
That's right, and that's Frank's Chirp. All
Oh,
right,
yeah.
With that was our local topic. So, Ian,
All
do you
right.
want anything you have to add on here?
Game of Thrones ended on Sunday, and I
Yeah,
know
I
a
heard
lot of
about
people
that.
are disappointed, and so am I. 8 years, Pat.
Well,
and,
Kazy, you're an actor, so what do you say
Oh,
about
yes,
that?
please,
What's your
Chirp,
on
man.
that?
I don't watch it.
You don't watch it?
I've never seen one episode.
Me either. Really?
Neither have I.
Well, all right.
You know-
Ian,
And
you're
there's
the
a
only one
there's
here.
a lot of us out there who have not watched
Yeah.
a single
all right,
episode.
so I don't
Why
feel
you
so
watch
bad.
all of
Yeah, yeah.
Bates Motel?
Bates Motel. Is that good?
That's great.
That's great. I'll check
You know
that
who
out.
Norman Bates is?
Oh, yeah, from Psycho. Hell
It's
yeah,
a
man.
Great show.
All right, so I got
All
something
right.
to replace the hole in my heart from the bullshit that went down.
I heard it was
Spend the
disappointing.
day watching, you'll be fine.
Okay. Good. I need some fucking serum here.
I love it. All right, folks, that was our round of local topics. So now I think it's about that time to liven up the
Ooh.
show and give New Yorkers the voice that they deserve. What do you say, Ian Bamberger?
Chirp.
Yeah, baby.
Let's
All right,
chirp it.
James, give us some of that
Chirp
tune,
it,
folks.
baby.
These comments you're about to hear are real comments from real New Yorkers, your mothers, your brothers, your sex partners, your Kazys, your Ian Bambergers. With that, Ian Bamberger, chirp about it. Kick it off, baby.
All right,
Let's
so
go.
this is first chirp of the week, and, well, it feels good to chirp here. Sheila from the Bronx. Sheila has to say this. My sister's train conductor was doing some philosophizing. Great spelling, Sheila. It is not my intuition to leave anyone on the subway platform, but at some point the doors must close. That is deep. Even if it's in your face. Otherwise, what's the point?
What is the
Hashtag
point?
enlighten. The doors must close.
I love it.
That is deep. Sheila, you know what's up.
Sheila, I love that chirp. Oh, my God. What a
Yeah.
genius chirp, huh?
Yeah.
Also, folks, if you'd like to
Philosophizing.
call in live with your chirp on the show right now, call 646-690-2976. 646-690-2976. Call in to chirp about it. All right, Kazy, what do you have to chirp about, my friend?
I got John from Murray Hill. 5 hours in NYC since breakfast. I talked to a chick from Australia, two
Nice.
dudes from Ireland. No, it looks like a Normandic photographer for National Geographic.
Maybe Norwegian or something.
Oh, is that maybe? I'm not really sure. From National Geographic, a Mexican bartender, and two cooks going to work. Hashtag diverse city. Hashtag I love New York.
Oh, you better believe that's a great chirp. You get it all in NYC, huh?
Yeah,
Diversity, it is. Diversity, it is.
It's one of the
And-
good reasons to live here.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just an amazing city.
100%.
Oh, my God. I love that show. Who's the chirper, by the way?
John from Murray Hill.
All right, John, keep them coming. We love them. Go onto my website, chirpaboutit.com. Keep those chirps coming. We love them. With that, Mr. Ian Bamberger, what are you chirping about tonight?
So, I don't smoke weed all the time, but I can relate to this. Austin, Upper East Side, says this. Only in New York City will you see a grown-ass man rolling a blunt on the subway platform before he hops on the train. Hashtag only in New York, hashtag 6train. I have a story here, but it's not. It's kind of like New York. So you have the C Street Ferry, which stops at 34th Street and Pier 11.
Yeah.
And I was in the bathroom one day, and there was just this fat blunt on the ground. And I took it. And I smoked it.
Right on
And
the
it-
train?
No, not on the ferry. I took it home and I smoked it later. I'm not condoning drugs, Pat, but I'm just saying I found it. So people roll blunts in New York City. One day it will be completely
but
legal.
not on the train. I actually saw a guy 2 weeks ago. I swear to God, he was on the platform, and everyone's looking up like, "What's that?" Some really enjoyed it. They're like, "Ooh, smells good."
That's what-
and
yeah.
it was some strong ass weed, man.
Yeah.
I had to move away because it was just like my nose started
You
to
don't
sauce.
wanna get a
It was
contact
my
high.
nose was saucing from the side of the thing. And I'm just like, whoa. And this guy was standing on the platform, I swear to God, it's about 9 p.m.
Okay.
And he was just going at it with the blunt. Is that crazy or what?
You smell it all the time
Expected.
now. Yeah.
But on the
Yeah,
platform?
Expected.
All right.
I've
Yeah,
seen
man.
some stuff on train platforms.
Same. See some crazy
Yeah.
shit, man.
This is New York City. That's why we love it, huh?
Yeah.
I guess.
G-Train at like 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
You'll see some shit. You will.
G-Train.
We got to get
Yeah.
some cameras on the D train at
Seen it.
3 in the morning.
I've seen it. My own two eyes.
Oh, I love it. All right, Kazy, what are you chirping about tonight?
All right, I got Fran from Queens, and she says de Blasio's running for president,
Yep.
but he can't even run the world's greatest city, in parentheses, NYC.
All right, well, there we go. I love that. And what do you say about
Hashtag
that?
Homelessness, hashtag shadiness.
Ooh,
Okay.
He is shady.
Homelessness.
Sounds like she's not too happy with
Yeah, but how do you
Yeah.
solve homelessness, man? Like that's a
with
tough
shadiness.
One. With shadiness, of course. Literally shadiness. Just put up umbrellas.
Well,
and you're
speaking
fine.
about that, I had two gentlemen on Les Fisher on 2 weeks ago on my Saturday show who came on. There's this big controversy about the Park Savoy Hotel, which is which the mayor wants to have go up right in the smack of Billionaires Row on 58th Street. They feel that he's being shady. They feel that there's some underhandedness going on with this whole
Wait,
entire
you mean like
situation.
deals, shady deals
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we wouldn't
well,
know
there's
about?
no. Well, they're saying
No, that
there's
never
no
happens.
reason.
No way. No. What? Wait, something? No.
Well, also, this building is a fire hazard, from what I understand. So they can't understand why is he pushing for, have these homeless men in this particular building when they can go up the block where there's empty buildings up the block.
I thought you meant this building. I'm like,
No,
what,
not this
What
one.
are we doing?
We're
here?
talking about on 58th Street,
yeah,
the Park
gotcha.
Savoy Hotel. There's a whole thing going on about it. So that story continues.
Speaking of fire
Go
hazard,
ahead.
Trump didn't he not put sprinklers in his own goddamn building?
I remember something about
Something
that.
like
Yeah,
that, right? There's a fire in his building.
Yeah.
Whatever. Whatever.
All right, we're going to do one more round of chirps, and then we'll take a break by Mr. Ian Bamberger and come back and speak with Mr. Kazy. Yeah. Who's up for chirp?
Right here, man.
All right, let's do it.
Catherine, that's the name of my wife. Hey, Catherine. Catherine from Midwood. She has to say this. Watching a woman put makeup on while riding the subway and realizing it's got to be a special talent or skill she could put on their resume. That's true, right? I guess. I mean, I don't wear a lot of makeup, but...
Well, I'm no female, so I couldn't tell you. But I'm
Well, around the side,
pretty
yeah,
sure it can be a task.
yeah,
All right, well,
On the
that's
subway, it's a talent.
I
It's
guess.
gotta be
talent.
Depends what line, how
Well-
bouncy the line is, man. You don't want to, like, miss your lipstick or something.
you
Look
smear
like the
lipstick
Joker.
all
Yeah.
over your face, on your cheeks. I
Yeah.
get it. All right, who's the chirper, by the way?
Catherine from
All right,
Midwood.
well, Catherine, thank you for that chirp. Keep them coming at chirpabout.com. All right, Kazy, let's do one more chirp by you, and then we'll take a break. Yeah.
So this is from Helen from Midtown. Helen's upset.
Okay.
There is a special place in hell for taxi drivers who want to go crosstown through Times Square during rush hour in the summertime. Well, springtime. Hashtag New York moment.
Oh, that
Yeah.
is a New York moment. There was a special place.
They're doing that on
for
purpose.
it.
They want to roll up that fare, man.
That's what it is, right?
She tweeted that in all caps for sure.
Yeah.
Ooh, so she's
Special
pissed off.
place in
What
hell.
the hell?
Yeah, man.
What the hell, cab drivers? What the hell? That's what I should ask. What the hell you going down that road for?
See, so that's something with Uber and Lyft.
Yeah.
Like, as you have a set fare from the beginning, it's not going to, like, continue rolling up.
Yeah.
So, for us as the consumer, that's a benefit.
That's
Sorry,
a benefit, yeah.
taxi
And
drivers.
I think for the taxi drivers, that's like, you're stealing business from us.
Yeah, it's happened
because
to
of
me.
your freaking app. But hey, it is
Yeah.
what, to Jay's point, hey, join the party. That's basically it. All
Yeah.
right, do we have one more chirp or that's it?
I've got one here.
All right,
I've
let's
got
do
one
one last one. Oh, we do. All right.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Kazy wants to continue to chirp about it. Let's do it.
Woo!
Oh.
This is Maria. Maria from the Bronx. You like that tongue roll? Yeah. Okay. Dude, picking your nose while staring at the female who just boarded the train is not the way to show you're interested. Dude, that's one of my biggest pet peeves, is seeing people pick their nose. It's disgusting. Hashtag deal breaker. How about hashtag fucking creep? Disgusting man. God damn, get some hygiene, dude.
Oh, his nose just itched.
That's what it is.
He got
huh?
an itchy nose.
Right. It's just like itchy nose. That's what it is.
Usually when you see a good, right?
Frank, you went there.
All right, let's
back
do
to
one more
elementary.
chirp and then we'll take it down.
All right, so Rudy from Brooklyn Heights says, why do people walk through doorways so darn slow? Is it really that difficult to think about your next move as you walk through a doorway?
I totally agree with that. I'm into that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I think probably 9 times out of 10 it's because someone's on the phone.
Yes. Looking
Straight up.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking down.
Like zombies.
Not
All
paying
right,
attention.
you're right about that. All right, who's the chirper, by the way?
That's from Rudy in Brooklyn Heights.
All right, Rudy in Brooklyn Heights, thank you for chirping about your New York moments. I love it. All right, continue to do so on my website, through my website, chirpaboutit.com. With that, we're going to take a break by Mr. Ian Bamberger and come back and speak with our very interesting guest. Yeah, Ian Bamberger, take it away.
All right, so before we hit it, what's up, Kazy? Tauginas?
Hey.
Yeah, baby.
nicely done.
I got it. I've got a show coming up this weekend. Check out my Instagram to find out the secret location. Dropping my EP August 8th. It's official.
Yeah, baby.
Playing a show at Piano's main stage. It's going to be exciting. Lots of new music and shows in between, but that's the main game. Here's an unreleased song called Hey There Lonely.
Ian Bamberger, folks. Chirp about it live. Yeah.
Hey there, lonely, don't you know the wolves on the road? It's getting late and the bar will soon be closed. She says, I got no money, I just need to charge my phone. I'm on the run and I wanna be left alone. And so the story goes, love is like a loaded gun. Kiss, kiss, bang, bang, damage done. Nothing's for free, and now you've learned the past is ash, let it burn. Let it burn. Hey there, misery, how you gonna get your fix? You know it's not safe around here when you're caught in the mix. He says, I mean no harm, I'll be gone with the morning sun. I'm like you and I am on the run. And so the story goes, love is like a loaded gun. Kiss, kiss, bang, bang, damage done. Nothing's for free, and now you've learned the past is ash. let it burn. Let it burn. Hey there, lonely, don't you know the wolf's on the road? It's getting late and this bar will soon be closed. I say, I got no money, I just want to charge my phone. I'm like you and I want to be left alone. And so the story goes. Love is like a loaded gun. Kiss, kiss, bang, bang, damage done. Nothing's for free, and now you've learned. Past is ash, let it burn. The past is ash, let it burn.
Oh, yeah, folks.
Ooh,
Ian
that's,
Bamberger. Ian Bamberger.
An original.
We'll be right back. Ho-ho.
Hi, folks. This is Ed Lemo. Who is Ed Lemo and why should I listen? Ed Lemo is an attorney that is unique in that he gives consumers good, solid information about the law that will help protect them against irresponsible drivers, landowners, and doctors and hospitals who are negligent and cause you harm. Ed Lemo has been representing individuals against insurance companies since 1984. Ed Lemo limits his practice to accident, injury, and medical malpractice claims. You can find out more about me at my website at www.lemolaw.com. That's www.lemolaw.com, or you can reach me at 646-522-9082. So if you're injured in an accident or a victim of malpractice and you need a trial attorney who has experience in the courtroom and gets results, call Ed Lemo at 646-522-9082, or you can reach me at edwardlemo@yahoo.com. Or you can go to my website for further information, www.lemolaw.com. You'll be glad you did. Thank you.
All right, Edward Lemo, personal injury attorney. Great one. So please check him out through his website, lemolaw.com. Edward Lemo. Also, we're brought to you by Chirp and Chickens, so please go onto their website, chirpandchickens.com. Download their app for a 5% discount. Just mention the show, Chirp About It Live. We're also brought to you by Accordia Shipping. For all of your shipping needs, please go on to accordiashipping.com. Download their app. Just mention the show, Chirp About It Live, for a huge discount as well. All right? They ship anywhere from a pencil to containers to cars to you name
Dead
it.
bodies.
To dead bodies.
Just kidding.
Well, they actually coffins, yes. So
Oh, really?
they do, yes. So Accordia Shipping, all right? There we have
Color
it.
me stupid.
I wouldn't say that, Ian, of course not. Well, by the way, Ian Bamberger, great song.
Oh, new tune. Yeah, appreciate it.
Oh, my God, that's
Talented
great
dude.
song, huh?
Thank you.
Isn't
Yeah.
he?
Thank you. Yeah.
He's
good.
just so smooth, man, I tell you. We're lucky to have Ian Bamberger on the show
man.
with us.
Smooth.
No question about
Kiss,
it.
kiss, bang, bang.
Kiss,
Heard
kiss,
that.
bang, bang. Yeah, man.
Kiss, kiss, bang, bang. I
It's
like
a good
that.
movie.
Ah, it's great.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of movies, all right, we
Yeah,
have a
dude.
very interesting actor in the
Tauginas.
house. All right, Kazy Tauginas. Welcome to Chirp About It Live, my friend. How are you?
Thanks for having me on.
Oh,
I'm great.
thank you. I
Yeah.
hope you're having a good time so far.
Of course.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
baby.
Well, I heard you chirping about it, so there. Yeah, I think I think you're having a good time, no question. All right, Mr. Tauginas. Now you're an actor. You're a film maker as well. In fact, you're wearing one of your T-shirts for one of your new films called Standing 8.
Yes.
All right. Well, why don't we just get right into it? Let's discuss Standing 8.
Is that a reference to a fight, right? 8 count? Or is it 10
Yeah.
count?
Oh yeah,
Standing 8 count.
He's,
Yeah.
he's
Cool.
a boxer and
Knocked out on your feet, yeah.
Your character's Dusty.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
let's talk about
Yes.
your film here.
So, just to give you a little background, Standing 8 is an award-winning short film
Yeah.
about a professional boxer who's forced to retire after being diagnosed with lupus. And it's really about his journey post-fight. Like, what is he going to do with his life now that he can't do the thing that he loves?
Yeah.
And it's mostly focused on the psychological aspect of the effect of lupus, because he's very early in his diagnosis. He hasn't experienced a ton of symptoms other than like fatigue and rash and joint pain. So it's really about him trying to contend with life outside of the ring. So I wrote the film a while ago, a few years ago, and it was a process. We raised the funds through Kickstarter,
Nice.
which is a crowdfunding platform. I don't know if your listeners know what that is, but people can basically donate to see your project come to life.
Yeah.
We actually had 2 separate Kickstarter campaigns, one for production and one for post-production. And then we after we shot the movie, it was about a year of post-production to completely finish it. And then we went into a festival run, and I'd say we had a very successful festival run. Out of 60 festival submissions, we got into 29
Whoa,
festivals.
man. That's
Wow.
almost a
Yeah.
half.
Amazing.
50%
Yeah, it's pretty
successful.
unheard of.
Holy shit.
And out of the 29 that we actually got into, we were nominated for 23 different awards, and of the 23 different awards, we took home 11 festival awards and
Wow.
4 honorable mentions.
Love
So-
that. Hand clap for you, huh? That's success, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where as an actor, sometimes you just feel you want to do something more than just act. And my mother has lupus, and the story was kind of born out of the idea of me wanting to do something that was socially conscious,
Correct,
that was
yeah.
close to home, and then including my background as an amateur boxer, which I was. I fought out of the Golden Gloves in Pennsylvania for
Oh, wow.
a while. I had
So
like
you could
13.
throw hands.
Well,
I wouldn't mess with him.
No, I would not either.
nah, there's levels to this. But yeah, I had like 13 amateur fights, and it just came to the point where I just wanted to tell a story that carried some weight and some meaning. And it was funny when I was writing the draft, I would check in with my mom to kind of say, hey, when you were in the office, the doctor's office, how did you feel?
How did you feel? Yeah.
And there was a moment like, do you ever? I remember a specific question. Do you ever feel like after? Because fatigue is a big sign of lupus. It's
Of
a big,
lupus.
yeah. It's like pretty much universal that everyone who suffers from lupus at some point of time feels chronic fatigue.
Okay.
And actually, I'll just give your listeners an understanding of what lupus is. Lupus is an autoimmune disease wherein the body's immune system attacks healthy organs and tissues.
Got it.
And it can absolutely be fatal if it goes after, brain function, heart function, lung function,
If you don't catch it soon
yeah,
enough.
yeah, and the truth is, flares, even if you catch them, if it flares, it's still life threatening. It can be. There haven't been any major medical strides. 90% of the people that are affected from lupus are women, and the majority of the women are minority women. 10% of lupus patients are men. Right now, they estimate about 1.5 million in the United States alone have lupus. I would suspect personally that there are actually more because they refer to lupus as the great imitator. A lot of the symptoms could be attributed to other things, so I think there's definitely a chance that people are often misdiagnosed. So that 1.5 in the United States alone is probably, I would say, significantly higher. But there have been some really great strides that have occurred this year alone as far as the funding. The House Appropriations Committee approved double the funding for research, which was incredible, and then the Department of Defense did the same. We found out recently, and I was with the Lupus Foundation when we went down to the Hill and advocated on behalf of people with lupus and met with lawmakers, and it was great to see that this, a lot of the advocates that went had lupus, people suffering from the disease speaking up for themselves and actually getting something done. So this has all been because all this involvement in me and awareness and whatnot has come from me deciding to create this film for my mom.
While you're at it, how is mom, by the way?
She's good. She's
Nice.
This is funny. Speaking of people not understanding the effects of lupus, right? In my parents' lives and our family life, it's been a very individual journey. It's been a journey where my parents really haven't had any support to be honest. It's been my father being my mom's primary
from my
caretaker.
understanding, your mom suffered from lupus way before you were even born.
Yeah.
Okay.
Many years.
Yeah, it took a long time actually for my mom to get diagnosed.
Wow.
A really long time. My father was he had the intuition to before she was actually diagnosed to decide to put all of his career aspirations of becoming a professor, getting his PhD on hold and take a job with the state of Illinois to make sure that she could get insured. Because if she had been diagnosed and they didn't have insurance, it would have been a problem. They would have to come out of pocket. So he did that and anticipating that, knowing there was something seriously wrong with my mom, but it took years for her to finally get diagnosed.
Even a pregnancy too. She's
high
a
risk.
tough woman.
High risk.
Tough woman.
Yeah, she was told not to try. She miscarried once,
And then
and then, she was like, "I'm gonna have a baby."
and
Yeah.
she had you. She
Yeah.
had a star. There we go. She had a star. Now you're originally from Chicago.
Yes. The Chicago area. I grew up in Oak Park, which is famous for Frank Lloyd Wright homes and the birthplace of Ernest Hemingway.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful. I like that.
Yeah.
And before all of this acting thing, what were you doing before that? And how did it all start? Before, I should say, when did it all start before acting?
Oh well, I grew up in Oak Park, which is a great place to grow up. It was a very diverse community, and I felt like I would always tell people like my friends looked like the UN.
Yeah.
Because we were. It was a great way to grow up. I had friends who were really wealthy. I had friends who had to turn on their ovens with pliers. So I got a really well-rounded.
New York City, basically.
Yeah, I had a really well-rounded way of seeing the world. And then I was actually my sport of choice growing up was figure skating. And my decision to go to school was kind of contingent on me being able to skate and study at the same time. And the University of Delaware at that time.
You got a scholarship?
I like a little one, but it was the University of Delaware was one of the only places in the country that I could actually go to school full time and skate because the skate was on, the rink was on campus.
Oh wow!
So I pursued that, went for it. As I got heavier into the sport and as I got older, I just realized it was something I just no longer really wanted to be associated with.
Okay.
As a lot of activities in this world are, it's very political, and I just felt like I didn't really want to be putting my own money into something that I didn't really see a future in.
Have you seen I, Tonya?
I have seen Icania, and I've seen parents like Tanya's mother.
Oh, she
And
seemed
it's-
evil, man.
I've seen them, and they're not fun.
Yeah.
Like it's not really that of a stretch, which
Got it.
is really unfortunate.
Wow.
And I've got nothing but love. It really kept me out of trouble.
Right.
Skating kept me out of trouble. I'm not going to lie.
Skating kept
you know.
him out of trouble.
Yeah,
Oh,
it did,
interesting,
and
huh?
it taught me time management and got me addicted to staying physically fit, which is why when I walked away from skating,
Yeah.
I pretty much within a year segued into boxing, and it was something that I had always wanted to do. So towards the end of my college career, I was already not really sure what was going to happen, and just through a friend of a friend, serendipity, things
There
work
you
out.
go.
And he's like, "Oh, I went to this boxing gym in West Grove, Pennsylvania, which is like 20 minutes from the University of Delaware." And I started training at Left Jab Boxing Club with Cliff Johnson, who didn't know my name for like the first year that I was there. He just called me Big Guy. Like, "Hey, Big Guy, get in the ring."
Oh, that's cool, man.
And
But,
big guy showed him, huh?
I mean, I got knocked around a lot when I first started. I mean, that's like kind of, it's like, getting your wild oats sowed
Yeah,
with punches.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
You get thrown into the fire a little bit, but Cliff was really good in kind of like slowly letting that happen. He wants you to build up your skill set so that you don't actually end up getting hurt really badly. Although I still broke my nose numerous times.
Well,
It's just
okay.
like, I could smell wine pretty well. You know what I mean? It's not small.
Speaking of wine,
Yeah, that's hilarious. Sorry.
you're also in the restaurant business.
That's right. That's
You're
right.
on the
Yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, I know. It's like I go off in one direction, and you got to reel me back in.
You mentioned wine.
Yeah. Well, I was
Sommelier, whatever.
when I graduated from college. I was really hell bent on not moving back in with my parents, and I was working as a personal trainer at Bally Total Fitness, and I also had a job working overnights at a local diner called the Corner Diner, and just like crazy chain of events. The owner ended up turning to me one day. He was exhausted. He was in his 50s, working these overnight shifts, splitting the day shift. His wife would work the days, and he would work nights. And he was just like exhausted. And he was like, he was Russian. He's like, you want to buy this place? And I was like, I'm 23. Like, I don't have any money. But we worked it out. He really wanted out, and we ended up working it out. And I worked really, really hard, not 100% knowing what I was doing. Actually, luckily I had.
And this is at the age of 23. Now.
Yeah, I was 23. I owned it from 23 to 27.
Oh,
and
all right.
Unfortunately, when my lease was up, my landlord just didn't offer a deal that was going to work out for me. So I ended up having to walk away. Unfortunately, but in that like the phoenix rising from the ashes, that was kind of that forced me to make a decision. Go corporate, take something safe, or go after what I really wanted to go after. And before my credit was almost completely destroyed, I ended up taking out a loan to go back to school to the New York Film Academy.
That's when you came here to New York.
And that's when I came to New
Big
York,
Apple.
January 3rd, 2009.
How old were you when you did that?
I was 27.
27.
Yeah. It's that magical age, right? Where a lot of
I'm 28, man.
I'm 27. Weird things happen when you're 27.
Yeah.
28, you're still feeling the aftershocks of the weirdness or whatever.
Yeah.
Still
At least
feel
in my
kinda
life.
weird. Yeah.
That's how it worked for me. But yeah, and it was one of those like boxing. I don't regret boxing. I don't regret although the restaurant was not financially successful, I learned a lot of valuable lessons.
Of course, yes.
I learned I just learned a lot about myself, and then taking that to the next level, going into acting and acting school. Acting after losing a diner and losing all my money, acting school is basically like therapy. So it was just like
it worked
it
out
worked
well
out.
for you.
It worked
Nice,
out.
man.
And it did. Speaking of working out, it did work out well for you, and it still is. So you've actually starred in a film with Denzel Washington, a legend, Hollywood legend.
Yeah,
Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
The film is The Equalizer 2.
Yes,
Am I right?
Equalizer 2. Yes. Yeah.
Tell us about that now. That must have been an experience for you.
It's to back up just a little bit.
Sure.
This was the Equalizer 2 audition. I actually auditioned for 2 different roles in that film. And the first one that came in for me, my manager's like, "Hey, they got this audition for Denzel film," and I was like, "Equalizer 2?" And she's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "What?" So I laid it down, and it was to play a Turkish character, and I was really not. I didn't really think I was going to get that. I just basically channeled my chef from my diner, who's like, "Hey, what you talking doom?" Like the way he spoke.
Right.
Like I just channeled him and did the lines and everything, and I kind of just let it go. And I ended up booking an episode of Sneaky Pete, and it was a really emotional week because at that time my best friend's father passed away while I was on my way to set for Sneaky Pete, and it was tough because he was his father was in Chicago, and I'm on set, and I'm like, I need to get to Chicago to be with my friend, but you're trying to just kind of like mentally get through everything.
Yeah, trying to balance everything out in your head.
Yeah. So I booked the ticket while I'm on set to go back to Chicago for the services, and I'm supposed to fly out Saturday. I come back from Sneaky Pete on Friday morning, I think, or it's late Saturday or late Thursday. Friday, I get out. I was working a day job at the time. I was working at Cipriani as a waiter.
Yeah, Cipriani. Okay.
Their lunch shifts on 42nd Street there.
Nice.
And I get an audition come in at 8:00 at night on a Friday while I'm supposed to fly out the next morning, and it's another role in Equalizer 2, a much bigger role, and I was like, well, I better lay this down right now. I better get this done.
Right.
So I called my friend Nadia, who is a trooper, and I was like, hey, so I got another audition for Equalizer 2. Do you think you could help me do a self-tape for this? And she was like, yeah. So I'm sitting there running lines, like, it's like 9:30 at night. I'm just like looking at these pieces of paper, and I'm just like laying it down, like practicing. She gets there. I still didn't know the lines because it was a lot. So we just like taped the pieces of paper all over the room and laid them all down, and it felt good. Like the takes that we sent over, I felt good. But I was like, what are the chances? Come on.
Right.
Like Equalizer 2, come on. Yeah. And I just let it go. And I flew back. It was a really tough weekend. My seeing my friend emotionally,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
tough. And
Yeah.
I felt like I needed to stay in Chicago, and I was really upset that I had to come back to work because I had already taken off for Sneaky Pete. I couldn't keep taking off from work.
Yeah.
So I don't think I was ever so resentful of having a day job, except for those next 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I was so in this negative headspace of not wanting to be at the day job, and I remember just hating every moment that I was there, and just because I was just resenting the fact I couldn't be with my best friend when he needed me, and I couldn't afford to take off, and if I did take off, they're probably going to fire me. So it was just I was in this place, right? And I remember looking up at the ceiling at 1 o'clock in the middle of the lunch rush, thinking, "Please God, get me out of this job, please."
And you get the call.
3:30. My manager calls.
And you get the job.
She says, "Hey, I got some good news." And I was like, "Oh, they're going to bring me back to Sneaky Pete?" And she was like, "Well, you're going to be acting with Denzel Washington."
Woohoo!
Damn, man.
Done. Honestly, I got so emotional. I got so overcome with emotion.
God, huh?
Yeah. Oh, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
let's
answers
be
your
real.
prayers.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I just collapsed in the place right then and there.
Literally clap.
Yeah, literally
Talk
collapsed.
about an
shit.
emotional feeling.
Yeah.
I just can only imagine.
Yeah.
You were feeling one way, at one point, and then you get this
Roller coaster
call.
week.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good point. That emotional,
Jeez.
Roller coaster
it's an
week.
emotional dump right there.
It was the craziest sensation. I was like, boom, boom, and I'm like, and they literally shipped me out the next day.
That's
It was
beautiful.
I went, I had dinner with my manager. I didn't sleep the whole night because I was thinking I'm just a ploy to get a bigger actor in. But sure enough, the travel coordinator calls me the next morning, and at 10 o'clock, I'm at the gym because I couldn't sleep. So I'm I just started lifting, and he goes, "Hey, can you be ready in 45 minutes?" And I was like, "Okay, but
to fly.
yeah, to fly.
Wow.
They're gonna send a car to pick you up," and boom, they sent a
Beautiful.
car, and I was out there, and then of course it was just working with Antoine Fuqua. I mean, I've been a huge fan of his films from Brooklyn's Finest, Tears of the Sun,
Yeah.
Training Day.
Yeah, these are good films.
He's made some really good films, heart wrenching. So just to have him walk up on set and he's all calm,
Yeah.
I'm inside oh my God, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?"
Welcome to set."
Damn, man. I have a question. How did you get a manager? What was your process with that?
So it's funny, I couldn't get anyone to rep me as an actor.
Because with a musician, always trying to find someone too.
No one's interested. No
Yeah.
one was interested. I ended up taking classes at the Actors Green Room, knowing that, well, if no one wants to rep me, then I would do paid meet and greets and stuff and whatever, and no one was interested. I started really getting into these classes with casting directors. I figured at least I'll meet them and I'll get better at auditioning. And I spent a year taking those classes,
Got it.
and just getting in front of casting and laying down a scene and getting feedback. And I ended up meeting Kate Geller from Christie Street, and it was one of those serendipitous type of scenarios where I wasn't supposed to be in the class, but there was an opening at the last second. They got me in and whatever.
Yeah.
And she ended up bringing me in for John Wick to read for one of there was a trio, Alfie Allen and Toby Moore and Omar played these those guys that kill his dog, right? So I actually auditioned to play Toby Moore's part, which was crazy because I didn't have any mainstream credits at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
But so I didn't get that role, but I ended up getting a smaller role and
In John Wick.
and I was on set for a couple days, which is awesome. My first big set to be on,
Yeah.
and I guess Christie Street got really great feedback on me,
Right.
and they continually started bringing me in for what they had next season. Was they had a Blacklist come up because they got the first season of Blacklist, and they kept bringing
Yeah.
me back, trying to get me on Blacklist, and still no one's interested.
No one's interested.
No
Still.
one's interested.
So you got this on your own?
I booked a Hollywood film on my own, and nobody was interested.
Ain't
What?
that something?
Yeah, man.
What? And
That a
then
bitch.
Blacklist, I ended up booking 2 episodes of Blacklist in the first season, the last 2. Little role, you know, it was they actually brought me in through stunts because I was non-union at the time, and I ended up getting to work on the stunt team, but I got a bunch of screen time, which was cool, but still no interest. I remember I met with like an agent like the day that I'm like, yeah, I just did this thing. And they're like, oh, that's nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So
I
what-
wasn't
what-
an
what-
extra.
what-
Like I'm like, what do you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing a paid meet and greet because a buddy of mine I was doing a play with at the time, Yellow Stars. He told me, he's like, you know, you should meet my manager, and I was like, you got a rep? Like, yeah, I should. You know, like thinking like I should meet your manager. You know, so I didn't ask him to refer me because I didn't want to put him in some weird position in case she'd be like, why are you referring this guy? Who's this guy? Right. But I saw that she had a paid meet and greet at they did these things called Talent Meet Rep. They're no longer around. And I went in, I met with her, I cracked a joke at my buddy's expense. That probably more than one, you know, just kind of like, you work with this guy,
Yeah.
come on, you know. And I did a monologue
Smart.
for her, and she offered me a contract the next day.
Beautiful.
And
Right,
I've been working with her ever since. Nicole Estelle with Prestige Management.
Look at that.
She's,
You're just getting,
Nicole
success
Estelle.
out of success.
Hit me up, Nicole.
yeah. Well, she's actors, you know, it's actors. But it's, you know, I knew always though that it's going to be like you need to fight a war on multiple fronts as a creative, as an actor. You know, you got to play the game as far as auditions and do all that thing and navigate that universe. But on the other side of it, you need to develop your own stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I before Standing 8, I had produced my own and wrote like a short film called Salvation Road. I produced a feature called Terminal Legacy. That I also acted in, and then I did a follow-up to Terminal Legacy that I actually directed myself and had a little cameo in it where you don't even recognize me, but like I put myself in that, and I would like the content development was always kind of like in the back of my mind, like having to make something. So, you know, everything kind of just fell into place at the right time walking the red carpet for Equalizer, I wore a lupus pin, and the lupus pin is what drew the attention of the Lupus Foundation of America, and that's when they called me and said, we saw this trailer for this movie that you did. It looks really great. We'd like to promote it, which then led me back to revisiting the material for Standing 8 and doing a new cut. Because our festival cut, we had to make the 20-minute mark to kind of keep us in most festival screening times. So I have a new cut that we released, which outside of the credits is about like 24 minutes. So we had, you know, we made it a little longer. So it's been like, you know, there's layers. It's like you get a little bit,
like
you come
everything in
step
life.
back,
Correct.
you keep going like you were saying, you know, it's like forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward, and it's just like this slow climb, you know, because it's been 10 years. I've been here for 10 years.
That's success for you, though. You know, it's the fact that you're not giving up. You haven't given up, but you continue to climb. You know, you just stay in there, and you know, things will change. Things does happen.
Good
and
words.
You're a proven. You're a proven example. No question about it. All right, Jade. How many more minutes do we have? 2 more. All right, good. So what's new? What's next for the film? Are you on?
So we're right now. Standing 8 is available on Amazon and Vimeo.
Beautiful.
We will be expanding to iTunes and Google Play next month. We're holding a screening in Hollywood at ArcLight next week, next Thursday. I'm excited
in Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles, yes.
Yeah.
And then my plan is to.
Your agent told me so.
Oh yeah, my plan from there is really to take this lupus awareness concept to the next level. I need to get a feature film done. We need to get a feature film done that deals with lupus as a plot device, so that I can delve in deeper into the effects of the disease, not only for the person who has it, but for the family, and you know, dealing with a lot of the same elements that I did with Standing 8, because people tend the idea of the fighter tends to resonate with people. People love sports dramas. They love fight films.
They love Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky's 43 years old, and they're still making sequels. Yeah, you know what I mean. So. That's the plan.
All
that's
right,
the plan.
Good. Well, you know, Kazy, you know, time flies when we're having fun. You're so informative. Oh my God, I could sit here and listen to you all night long, huh? All day long. So you're gonna come back on the show at some point when you come back from Los Angeles. First off, I'd like to thank you for coming on to the show. You've been a tremendous guest, no question about it. And a little co-host as well, huh? He's sort of like a co-host as well, Ian. What do you
I
say?
feel the vibe. I feel it. I
love
feel
it,
it in my
folks.
bones.
That was our episode of Chirp About It Live. Please tune in next week, same time, same place, cityworldradio.com. We had Kazy You gotta get Tauginas. Kazy Tauginas. I keep messing it up. Maybe I did that on purpose at the end. But yeah, thank you very much to Kazy for coming on. Ian Bamberger, thank you, my brother.
Hey, man.
You're the man. Jay, thank you very much. And, of course, my audience, thank you very much for tuning in. All right, also check us out on Saturday on AM 970 The Answer, 1:30, 2 p.m. We're out. Yeah.
Are your body hair problems the usual suspects? Underarms, legs, bikini lines, chest, and back hair? It's time to do something about it. Bear Hair Laser Removal Specialist is the right call. Call them now for a free consultation at 646-462-3235. They're waiting on your call. Call. Set up an appointment at this nominated top provider in skin treatments. Located in Hell's Kitchen at 503 West 51st Street off 10th Avenue in New York City. And open 7 days. They also do skin contouring and tightening, all skin colors, waxing, eyelash extensions, lifting, curls, and tinting. They also offer advanced facial treatments. Using the latest technology, Bear Hair Removal Specialist is the best. Call them today at 646-462-3235 or visit them online at bearbody.com. That's bear, B-A-I-R-E, body.com. You'll be glad you did. Mention Chirp About It Live and get up to 25% off most procedures. 646-462-3235 or bearbody.com.
When it comes to providing guide dogs for people who are blind or visually impaired, one national organization is taking the lead. The Guide Dog Foundation breeds and trains Labradors and Golden Retrievers to help blind and visually impaired people increase their mobility and independence. The foundation provides transportation to its New York campus, the guide dog, a comprehensive training program, and a lifetime of aftercare services, all free of charge. The benefits to training with a guide dog at the Guide Dog Foundation in Smithtown, New York are many. Among them are small class sizes for personalized attention, a long history of excellence in dog breeding, and a highly skilled professional training staff. The foundation offers a comfortable environment and diverse training areas from country walks to city subways. If you or someone you know could benefit from the foundation's free services, call 800-548-4337.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how, and we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids need to know the dangers and how to avoid them. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids, because when you talk, they hear you.
Hi, Grandma. Can Nina come over for dinner?
Sure. I've been meaning to ask you, what would happen if someone offered you a drink?
Grandma?
If anyone ever does, I want you to say, no, I have too much respect for my family and I don't want to get in trouble.
I promise, Grandma.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. That's underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. This message brought to you by SAMHSA and this station.
Yo, what's going on? Y'all listening to Sky's Crescent Radio, and here's what's coming up. On the first Sunday of the month, we have the Poet Podcast with Dale Novella. On the second Sunday of the month, we have the Soul Tree Spotlight with Earlene Stephen. And we also have Keeping It Funky with Troy Weeks. On the third Sunday of the month, we have Boozy News with Supreme Bars. And on the fourth Sunday of the month, we have What's Really Good with Jeanette Berry and Clout Dealers with The Label Noir. And every Sunday at 7, we have Can We Not with Evan Combis. Peace.